ഹായ് ഗൈസ്, വെൽക്കം ബാക്ക് ടു ദി മഞ്ഞപ്പട പോഡ്കാസ്റ്റ്. എൻ്റെ പേര് വിഷ്ണു. ഇന്ന് എൻ്റെ കൂടെ കോ ഹോസ്റ്റ് ആയിട്ടുള്ളത് നിഖിലാണ്.
Hi.
So then you're losing your key players.
Yeah.
You cannot do
Like
nothing.
we were this much close to the
Yeah,
title that
yeah.
season.
Sahal, Sandeep, Jigsaw, Puitea, all Hormi, all those guys because they were feeling comfortable. The guy he just shot like
Yeah.
top corner, and that was you can't do nothing there. But somehow I was like but I stood up for against the injustice. I stood up for our club, for our team. So
നമ്മൾ പോഡ്കാസ്റ്റ് സ്റ്റാർട്ട് ചെയ്ത സമയത്ത് തന്നെ നമുക്ക് ഏറ്റവും വലിയൊരു ആഗ്രഹം അല്ലെങ്കിൽ ഒരു വിഷ് ഉണ്ടായിരുന്നു നമ്മുടെ ഫസ്റ്റ് ഗസ്റ്റ് ആരായിരിക്കണമെന്നുള്ള. പക്ഷെ അത് പോസിബിൾ ആവുമെന്ന് നമുക്ക് ഒട്ടും ഉറപ്പില്ലാത്തൊരു ഗസ്റ്റും ആയിരുന്നു. പക്ഷേ അറ്റ് ലാസ്റ്റ് നമുക്ക് നമ്മൾ ആഗ്രഹിച്ചിരുന്ന, നമ്മൾ വളരെ വിഷ് ചെയ്തിരുന്ന ഗസ്റ്റിനെ തന്നെയാണ് നമുക്ക് കിട്ടിയത്. Our own Ivan Ashaan. Welcome, coach. It's
Thank
our
you.
pleasure to be.
Thank you very much, guys.
Thank you,
It's
yeah,
so
yeah.
pleasure to see you back and to be back with you.
Yeah.
Great pleasure.
Coach, how has life been after being parting ways with the KBFC? How was it?
You know what? I spend a lot of time with family
Okay.
because looking at my life experience and since I left my home in the past 20 something years, because today when I look at my situation, half of my life I spent abroad, away from my family. And in the past years, even before COVID or during COVID and everything, I lost my father, and then in especially the last 5-6 years, even before coming to Blasters, I've been noticing that there are some people, important people in my life, like leaving this world, and I was always asking myself, okay, I didn't spend enough quality time with them. If I look back and say, my brother, for example, he has 4 daughters, okay, and they're all grown up. And if I count now in the previous 20 something years, how many birthday parties I spent with them, or New Year's or Christmases or whatever holidays, it's not that much. So last year, since we parted ways, I spent a lot of time with my family, looking at the fact also that my stepfather has been now 2 years struggling a lot with cancer and surgeries and everything. And for me, it was like kind of, I want to be with them. I want to spend time with the family, with them, quality time. Because like I say, you see some people leaving this world, and one moment you're sitting and saying, was it worth it? Because somehow you start asking yourself, did you spend some quality time with them? Maybe you had some more chances to do that, but when you look back and say, just give some more time because it will give you different energy. Then there was the project with the movie. I knew that it will take couple of months, even longer than half a year to shoot all that. And I was kind of intentionally saying, you know what, I just take a break from football for a bit, go with different energy just to refresh and stay with family, do some other things, and then come back later with the power. So we'll see. That was what I did last year.
Okay. What was your thought process after living here? Like, is that expected by you, or
Like
plans were there?
let's say every time after we were finishing the season, completing the season in Blasters, there was kind of pattern like, okay, we go and visit and sit down with the owners, with the management, especially because the owner, they live in Hyderabad. So I was going there with the pleasure. We were sitting for a couple of days discussing about the previous season.
Every season we have this kind of discussions.
Yeah. Even during the season, there were moments during the season where we were going to Hyderabad, or they were coming to Kochi, like sitting together, discussing it, talking about the current season, about the current plans and certain things, or especially at the end of the season, going to Hyderabad and then flying for a vacation, to families. So last season, so every time was like, you go there, you talk about the current season that just ended, and then you prepare for the next season. There are talks about the next season, the things that should be done like better, or we will release certain things. So kind of plans. for the upcoming period. So that's what happened also the last year. We went there, we sat down for a couple of days, then everybody went on vacation. A couple of days later, we got a call and the conversation where actually it was just the decision of the management saying that we want to part ways and to go. These things that happen in football. So when you spend so long in a football as a player,
Do you have a feeling like there is a change going to happen?
You know what? You always have that thing in your mind.
Always.
But you know why? Not only in Blasters. I'm telling you throughout the career, because my experience in football, I remember as a player, also as a coach, you play good, you deliver a good job, you make an excellent season, or you do like the things, and then just from the ownership part, or from the business part, or sponsorship, whatever it is. I remember also once in Belgium, like we had the 2 marvelous seasons, we still had the contracts and everything, and then just the news arrived, like you know what, the owner sold the club, there are new owners, and they come and say, you know what, we want to change everything. And you leave. So this kind of in football happen a lot, especially with players. Imagine like being a player, you are abroad, you settle down, you buy a house, you have your kids, you have your family, your kids go to school, like there are so many things that you fix to have a nice life, and just one day the club decides to say, you know what, we just send you on loan, or we just sold yours, and you are like, yeah, but my life is here. Yeah, that's the way it is in football.
Everyone plan according the contracts also.
Yeah, but
if it's a 3-year contract, they will plan like that.
Exactly, you start thinking and planning like that. But there is one great quote of one of the best managers ever, like Arsene Wenger. He was saying, every day you work in a club like it's your last day, and like you will be working till the end of your life in this club. But you must be ready, and you must know that you can be fired every day. This is the way it is in football. And then when you start working in a football, you accept that fact that you are part of one cruel business. Sometimes, look, the things happen, like everything goes well, everything's perfect, you have a nice result, you're staying high up the table, but that just, the ownership, the management, or whatever it is around the world, that's decision. Or from some board directors, or that's the way it is. You pack your things, you leave.
But you didn't had a hint like there's a change going to happen. Like
there was, I never had that hint. But I had in mind, after the second season, after that conflict, like walkout in Bangalore, there was a huge pressure, for example, from the federation itself, saying that, he must be released, whether it was in media or internal, and then in that position, I was saying, if it happens, okay, that's the way it is. I remember even having
the federation to the club, right?
Yeah, there was a big pressure, from federation, saying, these things cannot happen. It makes bad image, whatever it is. Yeah. But somehow, I was like, but I stood up for against the injustice. I stood up for our club, for our team. So then the club was also, I must say, hats off to the club, because they were under enormous pressure, from the federation, everything. But the club said, no, we're not going to change, because Ashaan, he stays with us. That's up until today, we still have a very good communication with the club, with the whole management, starting from the owners, with Nikhil Bhai, with Karolis. So we still, even we chat a couple of days ago, so we have great communication. Right. So then there is never that something bad happened between us, whatsoever. So it was always correct. Even last year when we parted ways, that's the way it is. It's part of business.
From fans' point of view, it was like a shock for us.
Because it was unexpected, and we were on vacation. But these things, they happen quickly.
Yeah.
There is also one quote in a business: when you hire people, you take your time, to evaluate, to analyze certain things. When you release people, and when you make these changings or something, you cut it quickly. So, and these things, when you are in football for long, you understand, and you say, that's the way it is. You accept that, and you just you move on. So, of course, we were, I think, and I'm sure that if we kept that team, and if we I remember talking even in the beginning, seeing the current situation when we arrived in Blasters, I said that it will take probably that we will be taking part in playoffs, playing to finals, semi-finals, but it will take a couple of years till the moment that we build up a good base of young players and a good base of foreign players in order to get the trophy. Because I even remember Jurgen Klopp in Liverpool when he arrived. He said,
yeah.
no, "Guys, first 4 years, like with Liverpool, even like it will take time." I think that they took the first trophy after 4 years, something
Yeah.
like that.
Yeah.
So in that situation, you have to build up a good base, especially seeing how ISL operates. Of course, I'm really grateful that the club understood that and the management understood and supported us the full way. So hats off to that as well. So yeah, we were cooperating good. I think we created great things, nice memories. First of all, great emotion, and of course, I'm happy seeing today some of these young boys
Yeah.
playing on a highest level, being part of national teams, and we are proud of that because we knew that if we do that and if we allow them to grow up through our youth ranks, getting to the first squad, playing ISL with that experience, with the support of you and everybody, that they will grow up to become important parts of Blasters. And later on, look how many of them like playing international teams. So
Right.
we're proud of that.
But even if we go back to your first season,
Yeah.
like we had one of the best squads in KBFC history. Not the squad, we had the best 11.
Yeah, it was a good team.
Yeah, we had the really good foreigners.
Yeah.
Like a really good core. We came to finals that season.
Yeah.
And all of a sudden, second season, we actually break the core team. Yeah.
But again, there are these, let's say, unwritten rules of the market. So we wanted to keep the core of our team. So if you remember, like Jorge Pereira Diaz, Alvaro Vasquez, Leško, Luna. So we wanted to keep our core of foreign players and also the core of Puitea, Jigson, Sahal, Raul Kepi came back from injury, Gil, Hormi just started playing his first season, Jessel was there as a captain playing good. So we wanted to keep our core team, reinforcing it and getting those youngsters coming in. But again, you have this thing in ISL where certain clubs, they inflate the market with the amounts of money, and then when you as a club operate on a limited budget and you have your budget where you have to use it properly, then you arrive at the moment where you want to keep your players, they want to stay, yet they receive offers which are way bigger than you can offer. And we were offering really good contracts, I must admit, but again they got 50-60 lakhs more elsewhere. So then the player who is 30 plus, he's like, you know what, but I'm playing for the money as well. And in that situation, they got long-term contracts and everything. You have to fight with those things you cannot afford. And then you come in a situation like these players, they leave, even they want to stay, you want them to stay. The bond is there, but at the end, having that market influenced by agents, by these amounts, and the clubs who can afford and pay anything they want, they just sit and say to players and agents, okay, you go and collect all the offers you have and then you come and see me. And then when they go and see them, they give them these okay, I'll give you 1 crore more. So then the players, for them, it's easy. For the agents also, it's easy to influence them and say, you should accept this one because everybody is there to get that chunk of money. So then you're losing your key players. You cannot do nothing again. Not only Blasters, like many other teams in ISL. You're just developing something. You're going high till one level, and then you have to go back down to zero to rebuild again. And it happens all around the world. You go into every competition in any country around the world, you will see the same pattern, same situation. You will have the clubs who will spend all the possible money because they can do whatever they want. You have the clubs who are operating on limiting budget saying, okay, then we have to produce something that the other needs. So it means that you have to work with youngsters. You have to give them time. You have to give them shape to, invest on a long term that in one moment you can use them, they can play, bring you good results. Yet again, you will have to suffer later because the other clubs will come and just offer them huge amounts of money that you cannot afford. And then you have to operate in that way. Up until the rules maybe in the federation change where they will, let's say, limit everybody saying you have to respect that financial fair play or having this situation where everybody will be on a scale like, okay, let's compete correctly. Otherwise, that was the case with us, because we were suffering in a way, like we want to keep those guys, they want to stay, but
Like we were this much close to the
yeah,
title that
yeah,
season. And
yeah, penalties.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Even though I think we were not speaking about it a lot. In that final, there was the situation like we're up, we are 1-0 up. So there is 2 minutes, I think, before the end or whatever.
89th minute.
Yeah, but before we conceded the goal, there is an action like, I think Nishu Kumar or somebody is going towards the goal alone.
Yeah.
There's Akash Mishra coming from behind, pulling his jersey like on the edge of the box.
There is a foul happened.
There is
actually.
clear red card.
Yeah.
So there is clear red card. In that situation, he doesn't even get a yellow card
Yeah.
from the referee. But funny thing, like the same referee from the Bengaluru game. So then he doesn't even get the yellow card instead of getting a red card.
Can you go back to that time from can you like remember those?
Yeah. So actually in that game against Hyderabad, instead of that player getting red card, sent off, there is nothing. There is a free kick in the next attack. So the same player who was supposed to get sent off, he's making the action, going there, cross, boom, we concede the goal.
Yeah.
So it's like direct influencing the game. And again, like, yeah, okay, that's the way it is. You bear with that, but it gives you bad feeling that the rules are not respected there.
Actually, we were there in Goa at
Yeah.
that time. We were in the stands like we are going to win.
That was the first game after COVID that the fans were allowed to come in. Yeah.
The stadium.
We were like we are going to win this time, and we were planning internally like next day we will reach back to Kochi and
Kochi, yeah.
plan
Even
about the
the
best
banners
parade and
were
all
also
the things.
printed.
We were internally planning.
Yeah.
At the time like 85th minutes or 86 minutes we are planning like that. Suddenly this thing happened in 89th.
Yeah.
So it's
Well,
a heartbreak.
these things, these things in football happen, and what the experience taught me in my life is that in football anything's possible. There are things that happen from nowhere, but in that situation later, when you look after the game, you say, yeah, but if there was a red card, we are one man up. There is no problem. There are no issues. Then in extra time, I remember Alvaro Vasquez got injured. He has to be a sub. Jorge, he got injured. He had cramps. He had to be sub. And then you're coming in the penalty sessions where actually half of your youngsters there,
Players are, yeah.
yeah, and half of your youngsters, they have to shoot a penalty. I remember even Leshko, he was exhausted. 120 minutes, he misses the first
You
penalty.
get a time machine.
Yeah.
What would you change on that that moment after 85 minutes? If you get a time
You
machine.
mean after we conceded?
No, before we consider, or before we were on.
Well, let's say nothing. I
What's
think
the feeling of dugout at that time? Like we are winning.
kind of disappointment after the game, because it's the feeling like we had it, but
Yeah.
then the goal you concede first, like it's not the
And that was a goal like
yeah, but
10 of 9.
But if you concede a goal which is provoked by your mistake,
Yeah.
then you have a bad feeling. But when you concede a goal like that, you say like, the guy he just shot like
Yeah.
top corner, and that was, you can't do nothing there. And then of course when you go through the extra time and everything, we were just following that plan, and we were just changing the things like we wanted. So there were not a lot of things that we would be doing differently, because it was a good game, open game. I always liked playing the games against Coach Manolo. He was delivering good job back then with Hyderabad, later on with Goa, and it was always kind of
It's always a good game.
good games between us, always.
Yeah.
I remember even in that season
The
against
last match in Kochi, like 4-2 we win.
yeah,
Goal.
exactly, with the turnover.
Yeah.
Yeah. And also I remember that first year against Hyderabad in Goa over there, when we won 1-0 with a great volley of Alvaro Vasquez,
Yeah.
that we jumped over them like first on the table. That was also a good game, because they had a good team back then with Ogbeche, with some other good players. So it was always good fight. But again, it's kind of, a good missed chance that all of us wanted to win.
But actually, in football, if we get a really good like a champion team for us, it's almost a champion team. We get in the first season.
Yeah.
Then
Like the
they actually
combination
plan the club or anyone plan like they built from there. They
Yeah.
just move the missing puzzle only.
Exactly.
Just place the missing
But
puzzle.
again, I remember after that season, that being constantly in a contact with Jorge, with Alvaro, with everybody. I said, look, we are keeping the core. We will now reinforce the team for the next season, especially because we will be playing home and away games, because we want that in front of our fans as well. And then what happens? You offer those guys better contracts, bigger contracts, and what happens in the market, with the agents and everybody, they go on the other side and say, what, look, we just got this offer from Blasters, if you want us, you give us more, and they will come to. So then the other clubs, they wanted them as well, because they saw they are good players. Nobody never heard about them in ISL before we, scouted them. Same with Luna, same with all the other guys. And then in that moment, everybody wanted them. And they were just like offering them more. Whatever we were matching and saying, okay, you have this here, they were getting more on the other side. And, they were just using
Actually, they really deserve to celebrate here.
Absolutely.
Those
absolutely.
players, especially Alvaro and...
I remember talking to them afterwards when they were playing later for Jorge with Mumbai and Alvaro with Goa. I remember talking to them after the games and everything, and they were saying like, coach, like, fuck,
with Jorge,
this atmosphere like this is something to dream of.
With Jorge, it's really upside down celebration happened in Kochi, actually.
But you know what? You should know that all the strikers, so all the strikers, they like scoring goals, and for all the strikers, they have also their own stories. So Jorge also as well, he felt like, okay, he wants to stay, and then he felt also that, okay, but I didn't get the offer that I wanted, that I was getting maybe elsewhere, which is normal. So I respect that a lot. I like them a lot. He's a good player. I remember even when we were watching him before he arrived in Blasters, when I saw him for the first time, then I was watching plenty of his games, and I said, absolutely, I want him, because I see the character, I see the mentality. He can bring us together with Alvaro and Luna, because they are complementary. They're different, and they will fit each other together as a unit. Three of them, Spanish-speaking guys, okay, and that was perfect. So, but all of them, they have this character that they want to deliver. They seek that kind of, point, I want to score. And then many players in their lives, like when they play against their previous clubs or ex-clubs, they have this kind of, I want to prove you. I want to prove to you guys that the things that you missed, which is okay. Which is really okay. So Jorge is like that. I like him a lot, because he's celebrating every goal. He's the guy. He's always hungry. I like that type of players. So, and I'm really sorry that he didn't stay with us. We wanted him to stay.
The way he presses is like
excellent. I remember in the first season. So, for example, we were always playing, let's say, in our formation, which is like with 4-4-2, but that's only on paper. Because every game we had different plan, which means we knew exactly if, for example, they were playing up front with two, if Luna is on the left, if Luna is on the right. We had always different plan how and when we're going to press and who we're going to press. And then locking our opponents down in one part of the pitch and then pressing there. And then we wanted everybody else to look and say, but they do the same thing. But they look the same. But that's the same tactics. It was never the same. But we wanted everybody to think that's the same, because you don't want to be predictable. And then every game, I remember the first season, I think we had this row of like winning against Mumbai 3-0, winning against Chennai 3-0, winning against, just winning those games. And
all those margins was 3-3.
And everybody, every time was like, okay, depending how the opponents they play, we will prepare our pressing. And when everybody was expecting Luna to play on the left, he was playing on the right. When somebody was playing Luna to play on the right, he was playing up front and Jorge on the side. So we were always changing, and they were so good in making that pressure, pressing especially. And sometimes we were putting, for example, Jorge in a position where we wanted to press certain players, opponents' players, because we knew that they are poor with in the ball possession. So actually we wanted in some moments Jorge to press some guys on the ball, where actually they panicked and we were gaining the ball and scoring those goals in quick transition. So we were always preparing those things, which maybe looked the same to someone, but for us it was always. And I remember even the players, like, laughing after the game or something, saying like, coach, like, it was awesome, because they didn't even know how and where we're gonna press them. So for me as a coach, it was fulfilling, because you see that it delivers the results. And we always wanted to keep that simple information, because most of domestic Indian players, they are formed in one system. So you want to make them easier time on the pitch, because we never wanted to make it complicated for certain players, because the easier you make it for them, the better it is, and the more confidence they will. So then why we saw in a one period, like, lots of players improving a lot, speaking about Sahal, Sandeep, Jigson, Puitea, Hormi, all those guys, because they were feeling comfortable, in a simple things, yet organized, disciplined, and it was delivering results. So we were building up on that base. We never wanted to switch things. For example, you will see often, for example, you are playing the game, and then the coaches say, okay, now they switch the formation. Oh, they switch. Look, all tactics are good. There is no bad tactics. Speak 4-4-2, 4-3-3, 3-5-2. They are all good. The only thing is like how you can explore them on the pitch. But the moment you start switching, changing, so the player's mind goes a little bit in the unknown territory, and then the players start being confused, losing confidence, and yet they have to make results, not us. You are there to support, we are there to support, but the players, they have to play. But if you put them in a situation where they are not comfortable, they lose everything. They lose that sharpness of a mind. So that's why we wanted to keep it simple, but every time we were changing these small patterns, how we want to press and how we want to play.